This video is about the alpha loved the human queen, but she was mortal. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. In the heart of the Blackthorn Forest, a hidden kingdom thrived, ruled by a powerful alpha named Kaelan. His presence commanded respect, his piercing blue eyes mirroring the ancient magic that pulsed through the woods. His pack was strong, fiercely loyal, bound by blood and an unspoken duty to protect one another. But the alpha's heart, fierce and wild, was caught in a dangerous snare. Across the borders of their enchanted realm lay the kingdom of Eldoria, where human life flourished under the reign of Queen Alara. She was mortal, her beauty radiant like the dawn, and her heart pure as the finest crystal. Kaelan had first laid eyes on her during a rare moonlit gathering between their two worlds, a meeting of peace that had ignited an unmistakable connection. "Why do you always watch from the shadows, my lord?" Alara had asked, her voice like a gentle breeze rustling through leaves. "You could join us, we would welcome you." He had flinched at her words, the instinct to step forward battling with the instinct to stay hidden. "I am a creature of the night, your majesty," he had replied, the weight of his wolf surging beneath his skin. "I belong to the darkness. Even the night can find solace in the light," she had challenged, her gaze unwavering. The memory of her words lingered like a lingering melody, echoing through Kaelan's mind. He was an alpha, and she was a queen, two worlds that were never meant to intertwine. Yet every encounter pulled him deeper into her orbit, every soft smile from her lips igniting a fire within him. As seasons changed, so did their meetings. They began to exchange letters, words filled with longing and warmth, hidden away from the eyes of their respective realms. Kaelan learned of Alara's dreams, fears, and hopes, while she discovered the weight of leadership on his shoulders, the burden of protecting his pack from threats lurking in the shadows. "Kaelan, I think of you often," Alara confessed one evening, her voice trembling with emotion. "There's a world between us, yet I feel connected." "Connection is a dangerous thing, Alara," he replied, his heart pounding. "You are a queen, I am a wolf and alpha, our paths should never cross, yet they do, they could unravel everything. Or it could bind us," she countered, her eyes sparkling with a light that seemed to challenge fate itself. "What if we are meant to write our own story?" But Kaelan knew the truth. His wolf roared in protest at the idea of loving a human. The bond of mates, the instinctual pull to protect and cherish, could never fully manifest with a mortal at his side. Their worlds were too different, their destinies written in the stars, but separated by mortality. One fateful night, under the silver glow of a full moon, Kaelan made a choice that would change everything. He stood at the border, the scent of her lavender perfume mingling with the cool night air, a palpable tension crackling around them. "Kaelan, you look troubled," Alara said softly, her eyes searching his. "I cannot bear it any longer, Alara," he confessed, the words jagged like broken glass in his throat. "This connection we share." "Is it wrong?" she interrupted, her voice rising. "Tell me, Kaelan, is it wrong to love?" His heart shattered as he met her gaze, filled with hope and desperation. "You deserve a life that I cannot give you, if my pack knew, if the council knew." "Then let them know," she shouted, the fire in her spirit igniting a flicker of courage in him. "I am not afraid of who I love, Kaelan. I would rather fight for us than shy away into the shadows." He stepped closer, feeling the magnetic pull of her warmth. "But you are mortal, and I am destined to protect my pack, to lead them into battles that might consume me and you." "Then lead us both," she urged, her voice a whisper now, filled with intensity. "We could unite our worlds, together there is power." But doubt lingered, a dark veil that clouded his heart. "Together, at what cost? Your life? I cannot risk it." Alara's eyes shimmered with fierce determination. "Love is worth the risk, Kaelan. If we could find a way, wouldn't it be worth fighting for?" As if summoned by her words, a howl pierced the night, echoing through the woods. Shadows emerged from the trees, a group of wolves led by Kaelan's second-in-command, Jack. The tension in the air thickened with danger as they approached. "Alpha?" Jack called, his voice gruff. "We must return. The council is restless, and there are whispers of conflict at the borders." Kaelan turned back to Alara, torn between duty and desire. "I must go. The pack needs me." Alara stepped forward, her heart racing. "If you go, will you return? Will you fight for us?" He hesitated, the weight of the moon pressing down on him. "I will always fight for you, Alara, but our worlds, they may never align." As he stepped away, the distance between them felt like a chasm. With one last lingering look, Kaelan turned towards the pack, his heart heavy as he felt the pull of his other life beckoning him back. Days turned into weeks, and the ache of separation gnawed at both their hearts. Alara sat on her throne, the weight of her responsibilities becoming unbearable. Each council meeting drained her spirit, their talks of alliances and war drowning out her thoughts of Kaelin. "Your Majesty, we need to fortify our defenses," her advisor, Lord Cedric, insisted. "Rumors of werewolf raids have reached our borders. We must act." "And what would you have me do?" Alara shot back, frustration bubbling over. "Fight against our allies, against the very beings that may hold the key to peace?" Cedric's gaze hardened. "They are beasts, Your Majesty. You must not forget that." But she couldn't forget Kaelin. Her heart rebelled at the thought of him as a beast. As the days passed, whispers of his pack's unrest reached her ears. Tensions grew, and the realization struck her the world could crumble if they did not find a way to unite. One evening, under the shimmering embrace of stars, Alara made her decision. She donned a cloak and ventured beyond the palace walls, her heart racing with a mixture of hope and fear. She would find Kaelin, no matter the cost. As she crossed into Blackthorn Forest, the moonlight guided her steps. The familiar scent of pine and earth enveloped her, each footfall echoing with determination. Suddenly, she was surrounded by wolves, their eyes glowing in the darkness. "State your business, human," one growled, muscles tensed in warning. "I seek Kaelin," she declared, her voice steady despite her trembling heart. "I wish to speak with him." With a low growl, the wolf stepped aside, allowing her to pass. Kaelin emerged from the shadows, the alpha within him radiating power and intensity. But deep in his gaze, she saw the turmoil, the love that fought against the chains of duty. "Queen Alara," he said softly, his voice a blend of longing and anguish. "What have you done?" "I came to fight for us," she replied, her heart laid bare before him. "To seek a way to bring our worlds together. I won't let fear dictate our fates." Kaelin stepped closer, his presence engulfing her in warmth. "You should not have come here. It is dangerous." "Dangerous?" she echoed, defiance surging within her. "What is more dangerous, this love we share or doing nothing at all?" "A love that can never be fully realized," he whispered, pain etched across his features. "What if it costs you everything?" "Then let it cost me everything," she replied fiercely. "I refuse to live a life without you. We must unite our packs, form a bond that is stronger than the barriers between us." Kaelin felt the weight of her words. "The council will never agree. They see you as a threat." "Then we change their minds," Alara urged, fire igniting in her eyes. "We show them that love is a force worth wielding. Together, we can break the chains binding us to our fates." As they stood together under the moonlight, Kaelin could feel the magic between them, a bond that transcended their worlds. With a hesitant resolve, he reached for her hand, intertwining their fingers, a promise unspoken yet palpable. "Then we will fight," he vowed, his voice resolute. "But for us, for our people, for the love that dares to rise against the odds." Alara smiled, a spark of hope igniting within her. As they stood united, their hearts beat in tandem, a rhythm resonating with the promise of destiny, daring to defy the boundaries set by fate itself. But the shadows loomed heavy, and the path ahead would not be easy. Challenges awaited them, betrayal lurked in the dark, and love would be tested in ways they never imagined. Yet together, they would forge a new destiny, one. As the night deepened around them, Kaelin and Alara stood entwined, the moon casting a silvery glow that shimmered in their eyes. But beneath that ethereal beauty lay the undercurrents of impending conflict, a storm brewing on the horizon of their love. "Alara," Kaelin said, pulling her closer, "what if the council rejects us outright? What if they see your presence here as an act of war?" "They'll see it as an act of love, Kaelin," she replied, her voice steady yet laced with fervor. "And love can conquer even the deepest fears. If we stand together, we can change their hearts." He searched her gaze, seeing the unwavering determination that both thrilled and terrified him. "You are brave, my queen, but bravery has its limits. I need you to understand the pack is my responsibility. If I fail them—" "Then you won't," she interrupted, her eyes fierce. "We will not fail. Together, we will show them the strength of our bond." Kaelin drew a breath, the weight of her words settling into his chest like a warm ember. "I will fight for you, but I am afraid it won't be enough," he admitted, his voice thick with unspoken fear. "There are wolves among my pack who will never accept a human as their alpha mate." "Then we must convince them," Alara urged, her spirit undeterred. "They must see you both as their leader and me as their ally. Can we not call a council meeting?" "They will see that as a challenge to their authority," he replied, dread creeping into his heart. "Not all in my pack are as open-minded as you are." "Then I will speak to them myself," Alara declared, her eyes glowing with determination. "I will face them, no matter the danger." Kaelin shook his head, a mix of admiration and concern swelling within him. You are willing to risk everything for what we share, and I... Don't you dare say you cannot let me do this, she interrupted, her voice rising in passion. I am your equal in this fight, Kaelan. I may be mortal, but my heart beats for you. He could feel the pulse of her determination, real and fierce, and it filled him with a warmth that chased away the shadows of doubt. Then let us prepare for the council, he said finally, resolve solidifying in his chest. We will need every ounce of courage we can muster. As dawn broke over the horizon, a fiery sun painted the sky, casting warmth over the forest as Alara and Kaelan made their way to the heart of the pack's territory. The tension crackled in the air, each wolf sensing that something monumental was about to unfold. When they arrived, the clearing was filled with the pack members, their expressions a mix of anticipation and skepticism. Kaelan stood tall, his alpha presence unmistakable, but Alara could see the flicker of apprehension in his eyes. Pack of Blackthorn, I stand before you today not just as your alpha, Kaelan began, his voice resonating like thunder through the trees, but as a wolf who has found something greater than his self-love. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, disbelief mingling with curiosity. This human queen has entered our realm and wishes to speak with you, he continued, gesturing toward Alara. I ask that you listen. Alara stepped forward, her heart pounding, but her resolve unwavering. I am Queen Alara of Eldaria, she proclaimed, her voice firm yet soft. I come to you not as a rival, but as an ally. I understand the fears you harbor about my kind, but I wish to bridge our worlds. One wolf, tall and formidable, stepped forward, his eyes narrowed. You cannot expect us to accept the human amount our ranks. We are warriors, bound by blood and instinct. You are fragile. Fragile, perhaps, Alara replied, undeterred by the challenge. But I am here to fight for a future where our two worlds can coexist. I believe our love can forge a bond stronger than blood. A ripple of murmurs spread through the crowd again, and Kaelan felt tension coil in the air. He stepped beside Alara, feeling her strength infuse his spirit. It is true, he added, his voice strong. Alara is not just a queen, she is a force of nature. Together, we can unite our people against those who would seek to tear us apart. Another wolf, Jack, who had been Kaelan's closest friend and second in command, stepped forward, eyes glinting with skepticism. And what of the traditions we hold dear? What of the council as well? You risk everything, Kaelan, for a relationship that can never be fully realized. Alara felt Kaelan stiffen beside her, and she reached for his hand, grounding him. I understand the traditions, she said, her voice steady. But what good are traditions if they keep us from finding happiness? What if our love can enhance your strength rather than diminish it? A heavy silence followed, the pack unsure how to respond. Kaelan's heart raced as he felt the weight of every gaze upon them. He knew this was the moment that would define their fates. What if we suffer? What if this love leads to ruin? Jack pressed, his voice low, filled with concern for his alpha. This is dangerous. A dangerous love is often the most powerful, Alara countered, her voice rising with a celestial energy that resonated with the wolves. What if it leads us to a future where we protect each other, where we face our enemies united? Quiet murmurs turned into whispers, and Kaelan felt the tide shifting. Perhaps, just perhaps, they could see her as he did, not as a fragile human but as a fierce ally. Jack hesitated, glancing around at the pack. Perhaps there is merit in what she says, but the council will not easily accept this. Kaelan stepped forward, his voice a thunderous command. Then we will fight for it, we will face the council together. If they wish to challenge our bond, we will show them the strength of our love. Alara's heart soared with hope, yet she could see the wariness in the eyes of the pack. Will you stand with us? She asked, her voice piercing the silence. The pack exchanged glances, uncertainty lingering in the air. Finally, a few wolves stepped forward. We will stand with you, one said, voice resolute. But know this, if the council turns against you, we will not abandon our alpha. Nor would I abandon you, Kaelan replied, pride swelling within him. We are family, bound by blood and loyalty. As they rallied together, the first threads of unity began to weave among the pack. Alara felt a flicker of hope, but deep within her, a shadow of dread loomed. What if the council would not be swayed? The next day, the council meeting loomed heavy with the weight of destiny. Alara and Kaelan stood together, heartbeats synchronized in fear and determination, ready to face the elders who held their fate in their hands. The council chamber was dimly lit, the air thick with tension. Elders lined the walls, their eyes piercing, their expressions carved in stone. Kaelan and Alara stepped forward, the weight of the moment pressing down like a storm. Alpha Kaelan, you dare to bring a human before us. Elder Mathaz's voice boomed like thunder, filled with age-old disdain. You risk our very existence. I bring her because I believe in a future we can forge, Kaelin replied, his voice unwavering. I refuse to let fear dictate the fates of our people. And what of your loyalty to your pack? Another elder pressed, eyes glazed with skepticism. Your bond with this mortal cannot be forged in the fires of our legacy. Alara felt the tension in the air, a palpable threat. But it can be forged in love, she said, meeting their gazes with a fierce determination. I wish to unite our peoples, not as enemies but as allies. Together, we can protect our realms. The others exchanged glances, uncertainty flickering across their faces. And if your love fails, if our worlds collide in chaos? Mathis demanded, voice sharp as a knife. If we do not try, then we have already failed, Alara replied, her heart pounding. Love is the greatest force we possess. I offer a hand, not as an enemy but as a protector, a queen who believes in the strength of unity. Silence enveloped the room, an electric tension binding them all. Kaelin felt the weight of every gaze upon them, and for a moment he feared they had failed. But then, one elder finally spoke, voice low yet filled with strange resonance. We have not yet seen the battle cry of love waged in the face of fear. Very well, we will allow this union a chance, but heed this failure will result in consequence. Kaelin and Alara exchanged glances, shock and relief flooding through them. The path ahead was fraught with challenges, but for now, they had bought themselves a chance to fight for their love, their unity, a destiny interwoven with hope. As they stood together, hands clasped, hearts beating as one, a new dawn broke on the horizon. The future lay before them like. As dawn crested the horizon, the sun's rays poured through the leaves of black fern forest, casting a golden hue that danced among the trees. Alara stood beside Kaelin, the alpha of the pack, as they faced the uncertain future ahead. A spectre of hope lingered in the air, shimmering with the remnants of their victory in the council meeting. But shadows of doubt and fear still loomed, threatening to unravel the fledgling bond they had forged. Together, we can face whatever comes next, Alara whispered, her voice steady but filled with unspoken worries. She could feel the weight of their alliance pressing heavily on her shoulders, a burden she was determined to share with Kaelin. Kaelin turned toward her, his piercing blue eyes reflecting the dawn-esque light. I never imagined I would find someone like you, Alara, someone who fights so fiercely for a love that feels impossible. His gaze softened, revealing the vulnerability that lay beneath his alpha facade. It is not impossible, she replied, stepping closer. We've taken the first step, now we must show our people that love can be a source of strength, not weakness. He nodded slowly, but uncertainty flickered in his eyes. Love is a powerful force, but it can also be a weapon that wounds. The Council may have granted us this chance, but not all will accept it. Then let us prove to them that our love is not just a fantasy, Alara insisted, determination surging through her veins. We will show them the unity we can achieve. But as they ventured deeper into their plans, the cracks in their newfound alliance began to widen. The pack remained skeptical, and Alara could feel their eyes upon her, weighing her every word and action. She had expected resistance, but the whispers of dissent soon morphed into something more dangerous. I overheard Jack talking, one of the wolves said in hushed tones, eyes darting nervously. He believes Kaelin is risking everything for her. He thinks she will lead us to ruin. Alara's heart sank. The wolfess words struck like arrows, each one piercing her hope. Jack has always been loyal, she replied, but doubt clung to her voice. He is just uncertain about the future. But he is manipulating others against you, the wolf warned, glancing around the clearing. We must tread carefully. As days turned into weeks, the tension within the pack only grew. Alara found herself walking the thin line between acceptance and rejection. Kaelin, too, sensed the restlessness brewing among his wolves. He had always been a protector, but now he felt torn between two worlds that threatened to collide violently. One evening, as twilight draped the forest in shadows, Kaelin and Alara found a moment of reprieve beneath the ancient oak tree, a silent witness to their love and struggles. I can feel the resentment, Kaelin, Alara admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. It is like a storm brewing just beyond the horizon. I know, he replied, his brow furrowing in thought. Jack speaks to the pack, sowing doubts, that is as if he is trying to pull them back into the darkness. Alara placed a hand on his arm, grounding him. We can't allow fear to dictate our future. We must confront him. It is the only way to keep our pack united. Kaelin hesitated, the weight of his responsibilities pressing down on him. What if they choose him over us? What if they see me as weak for allowing a human into our midst? Then we will show them that true strength lies in love, Alara countered, her eyes shining with conviction. We can stand together against those who wish to tear us apart. But that night, as they returned to the pack, the tension erupted. Jerk stood at the center of the clearing, surrounded by a group of agitated wolves. His voice was fiery, reverberating through the night air. Kaelin's love for this human blinds him. We risk everything for a bond that can't be formed. Enough, Jerk. Kaelin's voice boomed, commanding the attention of the pack. Alara is not a threat. She is our ally, and her love has the potential to forge a bond we've never known. You must trust me. Trust is earned, Alpha. Jerk shot back, eyes blazing with intensity. And you are giving it to a creature who does not belong in our world. Alara stepped forward, heart racing. I stand not as an enemy, but as a protector of both our realms. You fear me because I am different, but I wish to fight alongside you, not against you. Your kind have always been our enemies. Jerk spat, his words harsh and cutting through the air like a blade. What makes you think we will ever accept you? What makes you think I would want to stay here? Alara replied, her voice rising with emotion. I am here because I love Kaelin, and I believe in a future we can create together. The pack erupted into chaos, voices overlapping in a cacophony of doubt and anger. Kaelin's heart raced as he felt the weight of every gaze upon them, the divide between loyalty to his pack and love for Alara threatening to split him in two. Enough! Kaelin roared, silencing the crowd. I will not allow this division to tear us apart. If you wish to challenge my choice, then let us settle this with strength and honor. Jerk's eyes blazed with defiance. And what will you do if I win? Will you cast her aside, as you should? As Kaelin stepped forward, the air crackled with tension. If you win, I will step down as Alpha, but I will not abandon Alara. You must know that this isn't just a matter of pride, this is love. Alara's heart surged with fear, desperation flooding her veins. Kaelin, no, we can find another way. We don't need to fight. But Kaelin's gaze was steady, fierce determination etched into his features. This is the only way to prove our bond. I won't allow them to see her as a threat. I will fight for you, Alara. As the challenge was set, the pack began to gather, eager to witness a battle that could change everything. The clearing morphed into an arena of uncertainty, where love would be tested against the ferocity of loyalty. With the moon hanging high and luminous, Kaelin and Jerk circled one another, tension spiraling through the air. You want to win, Jerk, Kaelin growled, muscles coiling, readying himself. I fight not just for myself, but for Alara and the future we can share. Jerk lunged, teeth bared, and Kaelin met him with a ferocity born from love and desperation. The clash of wolves resonated through the night, a brutal ballet of strength and instinct. Alara watched, heart pounding, each movement a testament to the love they shared. But as the fight progressed, she felt a flicker of doubt gnawing at her heart. Would their love truly withstand the trials of their worlds? With a final, powerful strike, Kaelin sent Jerk sprawling to the ground. The pack erupted into chaos once more, a mix of cheers and gasps filling the air. Kaelin stood over Jerk, breathless but resolute. Will you now see that love can triumph over fear? Jerk, panting heavily, met Kaelin's gaze, and for a moment uncertainty flickered in his eyes. You fight for her, he conceded, his voice low but steady. But you risk everything. You must know the council will never accept her. Then we will make them accept her, Kaelin declared, his voice ringing with conviction. Alara deserves to be here, just as much as any of us. We will forge a new destiny together. Jerk pushed himself to his feet, the defiance in his eyes wavering. You have proven your strength, Kaelin, but you will need allies, and I fear many will not follow you if this continues. Alara stepped forward, desperation clawing at her heart. Then let us work together. We can show them that love is a unifying force rather than a source of division. As the night wore on, the pack filled with uncertainty began to fade, and a flicker of hope ignited within them. Kaelin extended his hand to Jerk, a silent plea for unity. Will you stand with us? Jerk hesitated, the tension hanging in the air thick enough to cut. Slowly he took Kaelin's hand, a gesture of reluctant acceptance. If love is as powerful as you claim, then I will give it a chance. The pack watched in awe as their Alpha and Jerk stood united, the first steps toward healing and redemption. Alara felt a surge of hope, but she knew the road ahead would be fraught with challenges. As dawn broke again, casting light upon their faces, Alara turned to Kaelin, her heart swelling with love. We will face whatever comes next together. Kaelin nodded, determination etched in his features. For our love, for our people, we will not back down. With the promise of a new dawn, they embraced the uncertainty ahead, a love that defied the odds, and a destiny waiting to be forged in the fires of unity. An alliance that, as dawn broke over Blackthorn Forest, the warmth of the sun painted the sky in shades of gold, illuminating the faces of the pack gathered in the clearing. Kaelin stood tall, a fierce determination coursing through him, while Alara felt the pulse of hope entwined with lingering anxiety. Their victory against Jack had been a step forward, yet shadows of doubt still loomed. Kaelin, Alara whispered, her voice barely above the rustling leaves. What if Jack's acceptance, though since he changed the hearts of the others, there are still many who see me as an outsider? He turned to her, his blue eyes reflecting the morning light, filled with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. We will show them, Alara. We'll prove that love holds power greater than tradition, but it will take time, trust me. Alara nodded, but the worry lingered in her chest. She stepped closer, brushing her fingers against his arm, grounding herself in the warmth of the connection. I believe in us, but I feel the weight of this responsibility. I am terrified of failing you, of failing your pack. Kaelin captured her hand, his grip firm yet gentle. You once he fail, this journey is ours, and we will face it together. My pack will see your strength, just as I do, but we need to act swiftly. The Council's decision is not the end, it is just the beginning. The Council's acceptance haunted her thoughts, an echo of uncertainty mixed with fragile hope. What will our first steps be? She asked, her brow furrowing in concern. We must rally the pack, strengthen our bonds. I will call a gathering tonight, and we will share our vision with everyone. The more they see our unity, the more they will understand. He paused, studying her face. But there is more at stake than just our love. The dark forces lurking beyond our borders are growing restless. We need to unite, not just for ourselves, but for the safety of our realms. Then let us prepare, Alara replied, her voice steadying. We'll show them that love can unite us, not divide us. But Kaelin, she hesitated, her heart racing at the thought. What if Jack tries to turn them against me again? I will protect you, he vowed, his voice fierce. I will not let anyone harm you. As the day wore on, they worked side by side, the air thick with a mix of determination and urgency. But in the corners of the forest, whispers of discontent began to stir once more, and the shadows of betrayal loomed larger. Later that evening, the clearing filled with wolves as the moon rose high, casting a silver glow that illuminated their faces. Alara stood beside Kaelin, her heart thrumming with anticipation and fear as he raised his voice, commanding their attention. Pack of Blackthorn, Kaelin began, his voice steady and strong. You have witnessed the bond between myself and Queen Alara. Together, we stand united, not just for ourselves but for our future, for our pack, and for the safety of our realm. Murmurs rippled through the gathering, skepticism weaving through the crowd. A human among us is a risk, one wolf shouted, and the tension in the air thickened. She is a liability. Kaelin stepped forward, unyielding. You think her presence is a liability, but it is a strength. Alara has seen our world, and she understands the darkness that threatens us. With her, we can build alliances that could protect us all. Alara felt the weight of their gazes, their uncertainty bearing down like a storm. I am here to fight alongside you, she implored, her voice rising with passion. I do not wish to take your place or challenge your traditions. I stand as a queen, yes, but I am also a warrior. We can protect our realms together. Warriors do not mingle with mortals. Jack challenged, stepping forward, his stance radiating defiance. You risk our very existence by allowing her into our midst. Enough. Kaelin's voice boomed, silencing the crowd momentarily. Do you not see? This human has risked everything to come here and stand beside us. She has fought for our love, for the chance at unity. What have you done to prove your loyalty? The pack shifted uneasily, uncertainty etched across their faces. Kaelin's heart raced as he scanned the crowd, searching for signs of support. Would they see the truth of their bond? Suddenly, a voice rose from the back. What if she leads us to war? What if her people seek vengeance? Alara's heart lurched, the doubts creeping in like shadows. I would never betray you, she declared, her voice trembling slightly. I love Kaelin. I wish for peace, not conflict. I would fight for your lives as fiercely as I would fight for my own. Then let us see if your love is genuinely powerful enough to protect us. Jack sneered, eyes glinting with challenge. A test of strength between you and me. Kaelin's fists clenched at his sides, but Alara's heart raced at the idea. No, this isn't about fighting. This is about uniting our worlds, not tearing them apart. But Jack was unyielding. You want acceptance, prove your worth, face me in a challenge, defend your claim, or else leave our realm. Jack, you are being foolish. This is not the answer. Kaelin shouted, desperation lacing his voice. Enough. Jack replied, eyes ablaze with intensity. We will settle this here and now. If you win, we will accept her. If she loses, she must leave, and you will be shamed before the pack. A heavy silence engulfed the clearing, the air thick with tension and uncertainty. Kaelin turned to Alara, fear gripping his heart. I cannot let you face him alone. I won't back down, Kaelin, Alara insisted, her voice strong and unwavering. Not now. I will fight for us. Then I will fight beside you, Kaelin said fiercely, determination igniting within. As the crowd began to chant, a challenge was set, a palpable energy igniting the air. Jerick stepped back, eyes narrowed in assessment, as Alara readied herself. She felt the weight of every gaze, every doubt, swirling around her like a storm. The two wolves circled each other, the tension crackling in the air. You are an outsider, Jerick snarled, muscles coiled like a predator. You do not belong here, and you will never be one of us. Alara held her ground, a fire igniting within her chest. I am here because I love Kaelin, and I believe in the future we can create. You cannot intimidate me into submission. With a sudden burst of speed, Jerick lunged at her, teeth bared. Alara's instincts kicked in, and she dodged, feeling the rush of air as he narrowly missed her. The pack gasped, the danger electrifying the atmosphere. Faster, Alara! Kaelin shouted, his voice filled with urgency and pride. You are strong, but strength alone will not save you. Jerick taunted, circling her like a predator testing its prey. No, but love will, Alara countered, her heart pounding as she summoned every ounce of strength within her. She lunged forward, aiming for Jerick's flank. Their bodies collided in a fierce struggle, a dance of primal instincts and desperate hope. The pack roared, each howl reverberating through the night, a mixture of fear and fervor. Alara felt the power of their energy, the weight of their expectations fueling her resolve. She had to win not just for herself, but for Kaelin, for their love. In a final surge of strength, Alara managed to land a blow that sent Jerick sprawling to the ground. The clearing fell silent, eyes wide with shock as he struggled to rise. You think you've won? Jerick gasped, breathless. You may have defeated me, but the Council will never accept you. Then we will face them together, Kaelin said, stepping forward, his voice unwavering. If love is a threat, we will show them its power. Together, we will forge a bond that cannot be broken. With that, Alara reached for Jerick, helping him to his feet, eyes filled with compassion. This fight was not just about strength, but about proving that love can overcome the barriers set by fear. Jerick looked into her eyes, vulnerability flickering in his gaze. You fought well, Alara. I see now that perhaps you could be an ally after all. The tension in the clearing began to dissipate, the pack shifting uneasily as they absorbed the shifting dynamics. We will face the Council together, Kaelin declared, a fierce light igniting his spirit. And we will not back down. As the moon hung high above them, Alara and Kaelin stood hand in hand, defiance coursing through their veins. Together, they would challenge the norms that had kept their worlds apart, united by love that dared to defy the odds. But within the depths of the Blackthorn Forest, shadows of betrayal still lingered, and as they stepped into the unknown, a new chapter awaited them, one